So check it out. I just had an idea, and I was thinking about, the Tinker mask, right? Which is kind of a notoriously problematic item, and it really limits, your options considerably by having both. You don't get to exchange the talents um, unless they're both of the same type. But with rifles, if you think about it, the lower damage rifles have a higher cyclic rate typically, so they're more like a assault rifle, um, like the lightweight M4, and then you have the slower firing, like the M1A, the classic M1A, that have massive damage, um, which are more for like distance. It's basically like having a fast firing marksman rifle, a semi automatic marksman rifle. So I thought, what if I did a striker build for escalations using just rifles? Now, obviously, that's going to limit my my ammunition considerably, right? But it's also going to provide a massive amount of freaking damage. I mean, look at my DPS right there, 9 million. You know, so check this out, right? This is my layout, more or less the same way I set it up when I'm doing escalations, like level 4 or 5 escalations, except no light machine gun, okay? Instead of the hyena mask, or whatever it's called, or Sawyer's knee pads as the exotic. And you don't have to use an exotic, obviously. You could just make everything prototype, but I don't want to miss out on, the benefit of some of these exotics can be really considerable. Um, and so what I decided to do was basically set it up, getting rid of spot on and just using the mods on the rifles to improve the accuracy and stability enough that they're controllable. Not perfect, not like all my builds usually, as everyone who watches knows, are between 80 and 110% accuracy. So it is just like boom, super tight groupings, even at distance. And then optimal range boost as one of the attributes for the weapons is definitely one of my favorites too. So um, I decided to flip it up to use the Tinker mask, right? And then put the breaking point or break point, whatever they're called, knee pads to get that 25% rifle damage. Um, I think I can get that. Let me see. Maybe I didn't know. I didn't even unlock that. And it's still hitting like a freaking freight train. So I don't even need that. I could scrap that and just go with this one is obviously giving me the weapon damage, the skill damage, and all that. But clearly it's a very low armored build, but no different really than what I usually run into Escalation 5s with. I could use Murakami, so I at least get that skill duration boost. I could do Edelweiss, probably yes. Well, no, because I don't have a repair skill. I was thinking of my other build. Um, I mean, yeah, could do Overlord, and get that even more rifle damage and the damage to target out of cover. Let's see what this feels like. But check this out, right? So when I use the primary weapon, I get the secondaries benefit, which is Rifleman. The primaries is Breadbasket. So I'm getting a flip up and down between hitting headshots increases overall weapon damage, and hitting torso shots increases headshot damage. So that is like freaking they're complementary, you know what I mean? Because either place you're hitting, if you just go back and forth, look at that, that's a named enemy there. And then if I switch to this one, see headshots, they bring it down to body damage. So if I use that, this would be like if enemies get close. That's why I did the shorter scope, you see. And if I shorten my shots to like, look at that. Do you see that? I mean, that's named, all right. And I'm not. This is not during the event. Like I'm on the global event, you know. So that's why it's showing that. But here, look at the distance, right? That's outside of the assault event. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? That's outside of the assault event. This one, yeah, I understand that's showing a different thing because it's the assault event, but no assault event icon. You see that? Same thing here. And you can just go back and forth. Well, that one won't really apply because it's too close for the assault event. Let's knock these out. You see. No, it won't let me engage it from there. When I can keep them on target, that is. So obviously, if you just hold the trigger down, you see a considerable, you know, loss in accuracy. But if you do it in bursts, it really works. Like, let's use this one because they're farther away here. So we'll do named enemies, right? We have the distance. This is kind of like a marksman rifle test range here. Same thing, neither of these count as assault event. Because look, they're way the hell out of the I mean, look at the damage on that. When I can get them on target, obviously. So I'm getting rifleman and I'm getting breadbasket at the same time. With my primary weapon, that is. I don't believe it applies with the secondary. But, I mean, as you can see, the secondary still hits pretty damn hard, right? And it has a high enough of a cyclic rate that when you drop down to the torso, you're ripping them up. And because you're not going through ammo at the speed that you would using a LMG or whatever, yeah, sure, your ammo amount is much lower, but it also, I mean, you can see it's freaking tearing it up, like just completely ripping them to pieces, you know? Right there, I'm getting that rifleman bonus, which is just hopping up my overall damage with every headshot. And then I'm getting breadbasket right there, you see? So it's like an instant kill if you put 3 rounds into the freaking chest. You know, because each round is giving you 55% increased damage to the successive rounds. Right? So I think that's a pretty good build for escalation and blind firing. You know, obviously because of this event, this wouldn't really count necessarily. But if you blind fire with, you know, with your rifle like this, I mean, it seems to work pretty well. So, you know, even in Escalation 5s where they're rolling up on you and you have to get into cover and they're like walking like this way, you know, you can provide some pretty good suppressive fire to get them into cover so that you can deploy a grenade against them. So I don't know. I think it might be something. There might be something to this. And then, of course, I've got my Rafika, or Tempest as they call it, which can give me, you know, a full auto capability. Yeah, you see, that doesn't count as the event. You see, it's outside of that proximity. And then you can go to this baby. And just flutter. Not the best stability, as you can see, but if you're just trying to get them away from you, look at that, and it applies a status effect. I believe, yeah, after you kill one, it applies a status effect or a random. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's from my. Let's see what that's actually from one of my other items, which is giving me that. I want to make sure. So this one. Yeah, this has this. I don't usually equip this item, so I mean, yeah, this gear piece, because my other build, my like pestilence build that I use for level 5, level 6 type of escalations, is the one I'm just familiar with. It's what I'm used to, but and that one has the random status effect. This is not like, I mean, I guess if I stick with this build and I don't farm Striker for a while, then, you know, I don't really like this augment. It's not an augment of particular interest to me. I mean, I might, let's see, this one has weapon handling, actually, which would improve, you know, it's a little less on the weapon damage, yes, but it does have the weapon handling, even though critical hit chance is very important too when you're doing these. Let's see, we'll judge it by the augment. That's a shit augment too. So what we'll do is we'll probably keep this one for the time being, and we'll no, it won't let me flip it because I don't have the level up yet. So I could play with this for a few rounds and see what happens, you know, and see if it pans out, and keep everyone updated. But I mean, range wise, you can see I showed you outside of the assault event distance, it's hitting hard. You know, it definitely is a build that will run through enemies like no problem. It's obviously a straight up damage build. But yeah, I think there might be something to this, honestly. Like, I mean, look at that. Even if it's just for your open world and doing, like, you know, if you're with a team, you're just the, you know, the one on the long gun, nailing the enemies from a distance with those numbers and the constantly building damage. Yeah, your team is going to see some really good damage numbers. You're going to be able to get through those areas fast. You're going to be able to knock out named enemies like no problem, as long as you keep them off you. I've got my reviver drone. I'm, you know, equipping this bad mamma jamma here. It won't let me fire it inside though, for good reason. You don't want to be firing a shoulder fired rocket launcher in an indoor range. That would create a serious problem. But yeah, right? Worth checking out, worth taking a look at. The actual stats I'll show you on each one. This one I flipped to prototype, so it didn't do shit for my rifle damage or damage to target out of cover, but it did give me a crazy amount of critical hit damage. This one I got from a drop, so kind of even around the board. Nothing, you know, that great, but rifleman talent, fantastic. You see, each headshot gives you a 10% weapon damage for 5-second boost, and you're getting 5, so that's 50, and that's included with your bread basket. So you start at the chest and go to the head and return to the chest if they're advancing on you. Yeah, I mean, that's really nice. It's clean. The mods, stability, the 20 extra rounds, accuracy, more stability, keep it under control. We have the Tempest, not maxed out or anything. No expertise on it yet, which I should probably put some expertise on it, but I don't want to burn through all my exotic components quite yet. could see, really good striker prototype that I got dropped playing the bank headquarters during the prototype targeted the striker targeted loot. So this one has some very solid numbers, as you can see, and the status effect chance, which is one of the best augments in my opinion. I'm still working on building that up. We've got grenade efficiency augment on this one, and weapon damage and critical hit damage. Pretty good. They're both good, you know. We've got the Fox's Prayer, giving us more of that grenade radius and damage, so that's going to help out a lot. You can see I'm almost at the point where I can upgrade it again. So this is definitely a powerful grenade build, which really helps with those jamming grenades. Allows you to take out, you know, a good number of enemy turrets and whatnot, so that you can lay that fire onto the enemies or rush them or whatever you need to do. We've got critical hit chance on this one, and it's got the shitty augment that I pointed out before. Not really anything special. Unfortunately, yeah, until I use it a little bit, I can't re-roll it again, but I will eventually, unless I'm just out of, I might just be out of the components because I'm not breaking shit down. Maybe I can re-roll it. Yeah, let me see. I don't want to break anything down until tomorrow, because that's when the event begins, and I'll get double for everything. Yeah, every prototype I break down, I'll get 2 prototype cores instead of just 1. And yeah, like this I'm breaking down almost certainly. Same here, same with these. Like 3 of those. I guess we could break one of them down now just to just to get that core, and then okay, so we can re-roll it now. Yeah, I was just out of cores. I didn't even look at the number I had. So let's take a look and see if it's something we want to do. Yeah, every 100 rounds. Yeah, I don't know, with a rifle build, every 100, basically every 100 rounds. That's not that big of a deal. If I had this augment across multiple items, that would be a different story. But yeah, I don't know. As you can see, it burns your cores even if you don't choose to use it. So, you know, just checking ends up using the core just to see if it's something you want to switch to, even if you say no, I think I'll stick with what I have. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. You know, the point being, yeah, this could be something special. It could definitely make a difference. You do have limited ammunition, but you will also get a lot more out of what you do have. So, you know what I mean? So there could definitely be something to that, especially when you're facing these heavies and you're going for the criticals, and then you're going back up to the head, and you're going for the criticals, you're going back up to the head. I mean, you're going to see constant weapon damage stacks between those two, just alternating. Boom, boom, boom. Headshot stacks, body shot stacks, headshot stacks, body shot stacks, over and over and over, which should at least triple, if not quadruple, your weapon damage. And it means that, you know, you don't have to worry so much about, oh shit, I missed a headshot, I missed it, you know, because those body shots are giving you that additional headshot damage. So it's like a win-win. As long as your rounds are on target, torso, head, it's all good. Just, you know, yeah. And then the critical hit chance and damage I have on this build is, yeah, I mean, 115% critical hit damage, and the chance is 30. Not horrible, not great. I could go up to 60, but again, this is not, you know, the a build using, um, like the hyena mask, coyote's mask, or whatever. Not really emphasizing critical hit chance, but when those critical hits do come through, you can see the damage is going to be considerable, and yeah, should roll things together very quickly, and yeah, I think it's worth checking out. So if you use it, good luck, and I would start do like a tier three escalation to start off. See how it feels there. Then work your way to four, and then a five and six. And kind of feel it out there. Definitely farm for the better versions of all this equipment. And obviously, as anyone who uses Striker knows, the vest and the backpack are key. Without the vest and the backpack, you're really not getting out of Striker what you should for Escalation. So you don't really have a choice in the matter when it comes to these two. You have to do the vest and the backpack to really see the most out of it, because you're getting the risk management, bringing it from 65 to 90% for the damage stacks, and then you're seeing or point 0.9, not 90 obviously, but point 0.90, and then you're getting, um, in this case, the have both your augment, obviously, whatever that would be. Choose something like random status effect, grenade damage, whatever, if you can. If you have the cores to flip them, if you're lucky, you'll get one dropped, and then yeah, increase your max stacks from 100 to 200. So that's just, yeah. That's why you'll see a lot of people running between areas and missions, because they're losing their stacks every second. But 3 lost every second, you'll build them back up if you just focus on the targets you can hit, and use the higher cyclic rate to build your stacks. In this case, that would be the lightweight M4, and then flip it to the M1A. So you're getting both talents at the same time and dealing catastrophic damage, especially to enemies when they're poking their head out of cover and you're landing, headshots, and put the body shots on someone out of cover and then put the headshots on them. You see what I mean? Because it's holding that breadbasket stack. 3 body shot hits and then go for the headshot on someone else, and I believe that will work because it doesn't specify that it has to be on the same enemy, to get that benefit. As you can see, it just says landing body shots adds a stack bonus of 55 headshot to the next headshot for 10 seconds. So that doesn't say on the same enemy, any of that, so it can be either or, go back and forth. But yeah, give it a shot.